Today on Still in Canada, we got legs. So we're just, we made the legs and now we're just about ready to put them on. And we're also going to talk about this damn thing. Oy. Putting the feet on, and there's going to be 4. I've seen 3, but I'm not a big fan of that setup. I like 4 feet, and we're going to put them on this bottom ring. And in that, you know, I don't want to go up in here where the tank is actually there. I want to stop at this bottom section of the weld. And what I want to do is draw out a template first. So, and I've already gone and started to guess a little bit on what I need to do. So I've cut this piece of wood the length of the metal feet, and you know, there's the metal feet there. There's 5. I got 5 of them there. We only need 4. One's for that, you know, unfortunate error that may happen. But what I want to do is I want to get the profile of this, because if we look, we can see that this does come in. And these kegs also do have some wear sometimes. They get banged and dented, so be aware of that. I want to come in, and this keg is in pretty good shape. It looks like it had an easy life. So it's been, you know, pretty much the same all the way around. So I'm not going to worry too much about where there's any dents. If you've never seen one of these before, it's a profile copier. And I've already set it all up. And when I hold it up to here, that's giving me the profile I want. So I'm going to use that, transfer this over to the piece of wood I cut. Hold it. I put that there. Hopefully that doesn't go sliding off. This keg's really slippery now. It's all shiny. So I put that there. Oh, that's not going to stay. I can come in here and I can line up, and I know that the edge of here is about where I want to go underneath the tank. So I'm going to line that up with just a straight edge here. And I'm pretty close. My guess is pretty close. But I'm just going to trace this pattern out now, and then I'm going to set in the angle that I want the wood at, and then cut this out, and we'll go from there and transfer it onto the piece of metal. Probably take quite a few workings with the file and some fitting with the sander, so we've got to do that, and then I can get all set up. All right. Now we have the pipe already made to shape, and you can just barely see it there through the paper, I think. And what I'm going to do now is I've wrapped a piece of paper around it, and I've taped it on, and you can see the pipe in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to trim out all the loose, and that'll give me my profile for both sides. And then what I can do after that is I can just slip the next pipe right in there, trace it from this template onto the new pipe, and make my cutting a whole lot easier next time. And this worked out really well so far. You see it? There it is. And it looks pretty good. Now, one thing I did do is I used my calipers, and I checked the distance from my belly here to the bottom of the leg. And I made sure that it doesn't matter what they are really, because I am going to be trimming the bottom later at a right angle, or at the proper angle it's going to be sitting at. what I did make sure was that the depth of this valley to the end was the same on both sides. And then once I had that, and I knew my leg was pretty much straight when I had it set onto the keg. Alright, so I'll get that cut out, and we'll see the next little section. So here we see the leg. I've already trimmed the paper, and now you get the music in the back is Jesse having a bite to eat, so we'll just let him go with that. But there it is, and as if I hold it up to the bottom of the keg, you can see it really is a nice fit. Sorry about the camera, I'm trying to do this and look at what I'm doing. So there's a nice fit. I like the angle. The angle's about 30 degrees for me. You choose what you want. I didn't want them splayed way out here. I wanted a nice, strong looking leg. And although, like I said, I've seen some people do 3 legs, I like the 4. So now take the paper off this, slide it out, put it on my next tube, and just trace it on, and it should be making my cuts a whole lot easier now.
I'll show you exactly how I do that as soon as this dries.
And you can see where I slipped the sleeve over top of the uncut leg, and I just traced the black, traced it with a Sharpie. Now when I go to slide that off, you can see how the outline has been transferred on there. That's going to make my next 3 legs a whole lot faster. And there's all 3 of them marked out, ready to go. And my one that's already cut. So it's getting laid out in the shop tonight, so I think I'll leave these for tomorrow. Typically when I'm cutting them, I'm using, well, I have the bandsaw for some long straight cuts. Then I've got my grinder, and it has a cutoff wheel into it. I can come back with a flapper wheel if I want to on top of that. But I also have a little advantage. Not a lot of people have this tool, but it's a mini belt sander. And this has been doing the majority of the shaping for the bottom, so that's been a good one. I'll probably be using that a lot again tomorrow. So for tonight, well, you may not see any difference, but I'm a tired puppy and I'm heading to bed. On the keg, we're now looking at the alignment of how we're going to put the feet on. And if we look at the top of the keg here, we can see I used the handles as reference to cut out that section there for my opening of where I'm going to put in my large port for cleaning it out and for filling it up. On the bottom, there's also some references here too. And you'll see the 4 holes here. There's one, and the other one's just over here. These also line up with what I had up there. So what I'm going to do is, and these are great holes if you're actually going to use a boiler, an open flame in order to heat your kettle. But on this one in particular, I am going to be having electric, and I'm also installing a drain down here in the center. So I'm not too worried about gas, although my drain is also stainless steel. I could probably still use a ring, and it shouldn't be an issue. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these holes for reference. And I'm going to center my legs right onto these holes. Now that'll leave the top open, which there'll be a little bit of a gap at the top. And I'm okay with that, because that also allows no trapped air. Any liquid that falls over will drain down, nothing should get trapped inside. So I'm alright with that. And I'll just continue on. That way I'll have some nicely, evenly spaced legs. And I don't have to worry too much about it. They should be at 9 degrees to each other. And it should make a nice stable kettle. Well, that'll be it for this video. Remember I said we'll talk about this thing? Well, that's for the next video, I believe. Got a few more things I want to add to that, and it's just going to take too long onto this video. So watch for this coming up soon. And we're going to get the legs onto the keg today. So that's a big portion of what I want to get done today. So it's standing on its own, and with luck I'll get the bottom drain in there as well. Thank you for traveling with me on this journey. If you like what you see, please hit the like. If you really like what you see, please subscribe. This helps me out a lot, and it keeps me going. You know, I'd love to share this journey with you. And if you enjoy traveling along, hit the subscribe for me. All right, we'll see you again soon. Take care.